Time for your ABC 36 Storm Team forecast.
It sure felt like early July on this Wednesday here in central and eastern Kentucky with the heat and humidity, and we're going to increase our rain and storm chances. In fact, Mother Nature should provide a few fireworks of her own for the 4th, but as mentioned, not a washout, which is good news. Better news, the second half of the holiday weekend looks dry and warm and less humid, at least compared to what we're dealing with now. Pretty typical July weather heading into early next week, upper 80s and a few storms. Speaking of, those have been off to our north and west right along a very slow moving frontal boundary, which eventually will slide in here as we get into the late evening hours and overnight. In fact, it's going to put the brakes on and kind of camp out. So everything lighting up along the radar, that's where we have a more favored area for some organized severe weather there in yellow. They moved that level 2 a little farther to the north, so it really trims down Lexington, Nicholasville, Richmond in the level 1, and that's more so during the overnight. Just damaging winds appear to be on the table with any strong storms. Hazy sunshine and 90 downtown Mount Sterling in Montgomery County. Winds southwest at about 10 to 15, just blowing the hot air around. They feel like they're 97. We've got mid to upper 80s, a little cooler in the east. Everywhere else low 90s, adding to the discomfort factor. Tropical like dew points, and here's your end result. Upper 90s to around 100 as far as the heat index. It's hot everywhere through the Ohio and Tennessee Valley. And look at the feel likes out west. 102 Evansville, 106 in the Music City, and 108 in Paducah. So there is the aforementioned boundary, which again moves in, puts on the brakes. We'll see a little wave of energy riding along at Futurecast. Taking you through the evening, a few isolated storms, even around midnight, early part of Independence Day, either side of I-64. And again, closer to that front, that's going to be the favored area. And then I think the stuff overspreads, and we'll see several waves through central and eastern Kentucky. Notice, though, tomorrow evening around 10 o'clock, fireworks time. A lot of the data indicating it could be dry. Now, on Friday, we'll do it all again as we see a frontal boundary moving in. So we're going to see some pockets of moderate to heavy rain. And as far as the severe threat, it's low end. It's level 1, mainly damaging winds across central and eastern Kentucky tomorrow. And then the same setup on Friday with that cold front moving in. And that cold front is key to at least dropping our humidity levels down a bit. We should feel the difference Saturday and Sunday. Those 2 days actually really looking nice. So here's kind of the bird's eye view of everything for Friday. There's your frontal boundary sweeping everything out as far as the rain chances, slightly drier air. So we're going to call it nice on Saturday. We'll be into the mid 80s. So there's your second part of the holiday weekend looking good. So even though we're going to be dodging a few showers and storms the next couple of days, a little more optimistic. Kind of a best case scenario, even though Beryl is still a category 4 with 140 mile per hour maximum sustained winds. There's the center just grazing the northern eye wall, the southern coast of Jamaica. So not a direct hit. The eye never made landfall officially, and you can really see it here in red. That's hurricane force wind, so anything over 75 miles per hour. And again, they extend about 45 miles out from the center. The entire island seeing tropical storm force winds. So there are power outages and damage, but a direct hit would have been a lot worse, at least at this point. Still some problems. The Caymans dealing with it tomorrow, and then it heads toward the Yucatan Peninsula and Cancun getting into early Friday morning. It should begin to weaken, but this thing has been holding its own and overperforming. Hopefully those vacation areas far enough away to see a little less of an impact, and then some of the data indicating it may re-strengthen into a minimal hurricane before landfall early next week somewhere in northern Mexico, South Texas. We'll keep an eye on that. Round of storms, heavy at times tonight. The heavier rain, 74 coming up on Independence Day. Humid with more storms. Extended forecast here. Same drill on Friday. Don't cancel anything outdoors. Just keep an eye on the weather with storms moving in and out. Saturday, Sunday, really, really nice. And then heading into early next week, as mentioned, pretty typical July conditions. A few isolated afternoon and evening storms with highs in the upper 80s.